Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Slavitt, first I want to ask, you had mentioned in your testimony that premiums have gone down in actuality, or they're less than what CBO estimated?
I think what I said is after 2016, so current premiums are between 12 and 20% lower than ingoing estimates, and I can get you the site for that.
Than estimates. They're lower than estimates?
They're lower than they were estimated to be at this time, and I can get you the site.
Well, I just want to deal with reality, not estimates, because with CBO is not held in high esteem in terms of always being accurate.
It wasn't CBO.
But estimates. Have you shared this information with Aetna, United, and Humana? Because the fact that they bailed out of the market saying this is out of control, maybe you have a breakthrough for them that all these companies haven't seen. I mean, it's amazing to me. Healthcare costs have gone up. I saw one Standard & Poor's estimate said they've gone about 69% in the last few years. Insurance premiums have gone up, so there's adverse selection. People enroll, then they disenroll when they're well. Copays and deductibles are still high. So I hope you can show us the source of this. I don't want estimates. I want hardcore data with regard to are premiums going up or not. All the data we see is they're going up. In the Pittsburgh market, they're going up. In other communities, they're going up. Co-ops are failing because they can't handle the finances. So unless something is heavily subsidized or old or a problematic healthcare program, the costs are going up, and that's why people aren't signing up. So it's not a matter of, I just want accurate data so we can deal with this, so please get us that. Let me ask another question. The committee staff report released, that we released yesterday examines how CMS awarded federal tax dollars to state-based exchanges. The ACA states that state-based exchanges were supposed to be self-sustaining by January 1, 2015, but CMS gave them extensions so that state-based exchanges could continue to use federal money. So, Mr. Slavitt, your staff tells me that currently, as of September 2016, every state-based exchange is still using federal money. Is that correct?
Yeah. So to clarify, no new money has been certainly granted after that initial startup stage.
They're still using federal money?
There are states that have no-cost extensions, which essentially allow them to continue to complete the startup activity that they've begun.
They're still using federal money. And again, I say,
yes.
When you talk about premiums being down, the fact that they're subsidized is phony. It is absolutely phony. How can you have premium going down if you're still subsidizing? If we're still bailing out insurance companies, premiums aren't going down, it's being subsidized. So when does CMS think that the federal money is actually going to run out? 2017, 2018?
With this for state-based marketplaces?
Yeah.
I think it'll differ by state. I think we can get you a schedule of that.
And that's when we're really going to find out what premiums are if we're not bailing them out. When the federal money runs out, do you think the state-based exchanges will be sustainable?
Well, I think each state has its own calculation. You know, as people are probably aware, Kentucky most recently has decided to move off of the state-based platform to the federal platform. I wouldn't necessarily say that was for reasons that they weren't sustainable. They just chose that they'd rather be on the federal platform than the state-based platform, and I think that happens for a variety of reasons.
That's obfuscating here, because these are not just things as, hey, let's all get together and let's just switch to a different platform. It's because they've been financial disasters. And let's go to the co-ops. You've got 17 closures. One closed just this week. The HHS OIG issued an audit just a few months ago, finding that 4 of the remaining 6 co-ops fell below CMS risk-based capital requirements. So do you think all the remaining 6 co-ops will survive the next few months to enroll individuals for the 2017 plan year?
So I think the assessment that the states will make, and we will make it along with the states, is whether or not the remaining co-ops have sufficient capital to get through 2017.
And we've given them $1.8 billion in taxpayer loans of the 17s that have failed. So when you say sufficient capital, we're going to have to give them more sufficient capital to help them?
No, there's no additional capital. Congress has, in fact, rescinded, I think it was $6 billion of capital that was due to the co-ops, and that's so part of the capital issues that they have. We have given the co-ops, in trying to level the playing field, more options to raise outside capital, and I think several of them may, in fact, do that.
Raise outside capital. So that outside capital being what? For example, but it's not, premiums aren't paying for the plans, and they're getting other outside sources to help bolster the plan. So it's not just shouldered by the people paying on premiums. Am I correct?
It would be the risk-based capital needed to support their ability to write business.
Which I go back to my original point. If they have risk-based capital coming in, if they have federal subsidies coming in, anything you say about premiums going down, first of all, I doubt that's true because we're not hearing that for constituents. But the second thing is, if you're subsidizing it, any reduction is false. I yield back.